Check.
I don't want to say anything like that.
We'll properly bow to our audience.
You can come in.
Come in. Go. 김자세 준비. 김자세 시작. 팔도. Straight cuts. 준비배기. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 휴. 3단 배기. 하나, 둘, 셋, 휴. 반항 일금 준비. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 휴. 김식세. 관자 배기. 하나.
Be a real tall request. Volunteers to spare for the DJs to help carry the stuff.
Dado 김식세.
For the pool party.
Dado 중년 배기.
They got like tables.
하나, 둘, 셋,
There are 9
now the good fun one. Long name for stand on one foot. Gunge, don't cross and say.
Lathan, we need your assistance. We need help.
And Chen Jik say.
It's not super urgent.
So Chen say. She has it. Chicken. Check. Come in. Nope. So, go ahead and back. That's about a third of our basic cuts. Takes a long time. If you actually work, you're out of breath. One of those parts. Any of you guys that train otherwise, regardless of sport, game, martial art, anything like that, if you're training well, you're always out of breath when you do your workout. Because 100% today is 10 reps, 100% tomorrow is 11, and you're just as worn out. And you forget to recognize that you're taking these steps and actually getting better, faster, stronger, any of that. And you always, why am I so tired? Because you're working correctly. Okay? So that's about a third of the basic cuts themselves. Ms. Alexis, you gonna try it with that, or do you want this?
This one?
No, she's, so, stance focus 2, actually stance focus 3. It's a combination of our first two stance drills. It shows all of the stance work that we have within our curriculum. Done with a basic cut on it, and as the title of it says, it's stance focused. So the important part is stance itself. Okay? Keep going. Okay? Okay. So, a lot of bigger movement than you might think. Now, she's 15. And she can do all that stuff really nice. I'm old, I've had both hips replaced. Mine don't look anywhere near as good as that. So when I need stuff, that's all three of them. Do this, and then that's what it's supposed to look like. Okay? So, Mr. Zach, cutting focus 1. This has a portion of the cuts that we do in the combination. 준비, paldo. Cutting focus 1. Check. Here goes. Straight. Young hand. Thank you. Six. And people are going, oh, yeah. Now, you could hear his sword moving. The quickness of the blade causes the noise. If you swing it like an axe, power, it doesn't make any noise. If you swing it really, really quick, lead the tip through the target, you get the noise. Now, the noise changes as the blade gets twisted or not. So the straighter the blade on the cut, the higher the pitch in the noise. We call it a whoosh. As that whoosh gets louder and deeper, your blade is getting twisted through that cut. It's going to take a fan and go this way, and take the fan and go this way, and it goes really quick and easily. That's what's happening with the sword. That noise tells it. One of the things that helps on it, you've seen swords otherwise, they tend to have a blood groove down it. It's a bad name for it because it's not actually anything to do with blood. By cutting it, grinding that section out, it makes the blade lighter. That's all it's actually for. So now the blade is a little lighter, a little quicker, it changes the balance a little bit, but it sounds more mystical and cool if you call it a blood groove. So, questions on basics?
The foot position.
They are unusual and they are uncomfortable, but they're all tactical. And this part
no, we're
play
set.
nice. So the horse stance. Toes are turned in, knees are bent. I train in Taekwondo also. If I do my Taekwondo horse stance, the knees up, and I cut. So if I turn the toes in, my knees go forward, my shoulders go forward, my backside goes out. Now I have stability in the back, so I can go quicker. The long stances, the front foot's turned over. Why? Because there's my armor. Femoral artery, bleed out in 20 seconds, done. Hit my armor, go ahead. So it comes in tactical stuff like that that isn't recognized right away when people look at it as so much sport. Okay? Good? So, you want to get ready?
No, he was just telling you how to do that.
Yes. And I'm starting.
Can I take pictures of that?
So, I'm going to do the form that you're going to see the fight from. Now, the fight will be modified slightly because bad guys don't move exactly the right way, truly. Okay? So this is the form. We'll go sideways so you see it better. That you will see them, the three of them, actually beat each other up with. Mom always likes to beat up on the kids anyway, so, yeah. Sharp, quick, to the point, done. Turned a little bit because put away is cool. If I would have done it the regular way, I would have done it toward the wall and you would have seen it. Now, to keep in mind while they get ready, forms are combat combinations put together in a pattern so you can practice them all. It isn't one big choreographed fight, truly. That's Hollywood. So this is a bit Hollywood, done with more realistic application of things as we go. It's basically the same form.
So, bro, you want some apples?
Oh yeah, I want some apples.
See that lady over there?
Yes, you see that lady over there.
You get it?
I'm gonna ask the nice lady for some apple monies.
Go over there.
Alright, I'll go get the apples.
Hey, lady, give me your money.
No.
You want the red or the blue apples?
Brother, I will avenge you!
That's why we come to cons. We fit in just fine.
I noticed they were probably one-on-one, or did that happen in like an actual team cut, or is that just, I don't know.
See, then that's the Hollywood version.
Okay, so.
That would be the Hollywood version, because if they were actually, Mel, come on up. Zach, come on. Right there, face Zach. Zach and I are buddies. As soon as Zach challenges her, I come running in and it's done. Thank you. Hollywood, great. You and I will fight. Oh, my buddies will wait until I get knocked down. Then one at a time they'll come after you. No, that's not real. That's Hollywood. But that's the part that makes it fun, and you get to see what's actually happening in the combinations. If it was truly a combat fight, it's all against you right now, go. And you try not to die. Okay? So, no, that wouldn't be. And that's why forms are actually combinations put together in an order that let you practice a bunch of different ones instead of just one over and over and over. Now, in this one, as it's the example, scare you back, knock your sword up, kill you, done. That's the end of that combination, that's the end of that person. But that's boring. I'll do it 1,000 times, I'll do it 10,000 times, but how about add to it? Okay. Practice blocking, 1, 2. So there's another combination that you're teaching, learning, developing. Originally when forms were taught and developed, they didn't have nice patterns for them. Basically it was, here's a combination, go. Now, here's another combination, go. And they turned and they moved and they ended up, you could start over there and end over there somewhere. Mid-40s, credit to the martial arts you see today. I'll credit it to Gichin Funakoshi with Shotokan. He brought karate to the Japanese high schools and Japanese universities, and that's when the forms got systemized. So now instead of having you doing your one form, taking up the whole room and not anyone else being able to practice, they're set up in a pattern. Now we can have 50 people in here all doing the same form at the same time, not running into each other and having enough space for it. Makes sense now, right? Which is the part that gets lost in most modern martial arts training. Our group, my Taekwondo, Master Lewis's Tang Soo Do, ascribe to that old school kind of thing that we recognize that we're practicing solid hard stuff. Not just to dance around with a kick, and we don't throw head kicks up here. If I'm going to kick you to protect myself, I'm going to take out your knee.
I have a quick question. My brother happened to get a hold of the sword from World War II era. We're pretty sure it's been used in battle. I think it's got blood on the handle. The question I have is the sword style that you guys do. Would that have been used in actual combat if they were doing sword in World War II? I mean, are you guys doing what they would actually be doing on a battlefield if they were going sword to sword?
Qualified, yes. Because cutting is cutting. You can only move a sword so many ways, and if it went to sword fighting, all this stuff would be used. How they trained to do it may have been different because it's probably a Japanese sword, so it would have come from the Japanese version of the sword art.
Yeah.
But they do the same cutting that we do. You can only use the
there's
sword.
an actual form that they're fighting even when they're going head-to-head on the battlefield.
All military has form. That's why there are no left-handed swordsmen. Yeah. Yeah, no left-handed swordsman. Zach, over here. I won't actually do it because this is a live sword. No. He's right-handed, I'm left-handed, and I go, draw. And everyone else is drawing toward me. Not a good thing. So everyone is a right-handed swordsman, so all our swords go the same direction. Okay, thank you. Which is also when you look back, riding horses, the horse doesn't care what side you get on, but I have a sword. I'm not going to take my sword over the horse so I get on the left and put the empty side over the horse. Military, even modern military with the scabbards, or not scabbards, sabers and cutlasses hanging on their belts. Yeah. That firearms didn't count because they didn't come until way later. And by then the tradition of getting on the left side was already set. It doesn't matter if you move a handgun over a horse because it doesn't stick out like a sword does. So there's a lot of little parts like that that don't get talked about, brought up, looked at. So then we take that, and we train really hard on basics and all that kind of fun, and then Mel comes out with her sword dance and messes with everyone. Music's ready?
I'm good to go.
Okay.
Crank up the music.
Whenever you're ready.
Oh, sorry.
Now, all of that is accomplished truly because she understands the basics. So she can figure out how to turn, where to turn, when to turn, and what combinations and movements fit together to make it flow and go. Now, I'll tell you straight up, a couple of these guys can do sword dance as well. Mine suck. I'm not creative enough. I can't have that kind of fun. I'm a martial artist. I would fight in the front lines and that part. They're the cool ones that'll have all kinds of extra fun. Okay? So, Zach, could you set up the math stand, please?
Sir.
Actually, right above, on this nice little red piece of tinsel. No, I'm not colorblind. I knew it was red. I said green anyway. So, now we come to the last fun part. As I mentioned, most of our work is actually geared toward cutting. So we cut targets of all kinds of things. Actually, we have that one first. So we'll do fruit, we'll do paper, we'll do mats, we'll do bamboo. Okay? So we'll pass this around kind of quick here and look at it. That would equate to hitting a good spot. It's not light. Has a lot of sturdiness to it. It is wet. Don't tip it too much. It's a tatami mat, a Japanese rice floor mat, rolled up, soaked. It's soaked for two reasons. One, the soaking it swells it so it gets tighter, and two, the wet helps keep the finish on the blade from scratching much. Okay. Now, in our cutting, we'll do paper. Newspaper works really well. And that tells, and Troy was out there earlier, cutting paper. If you cut paper with a wooden sword, which can be done, if your cut is correct, you get nice clean lines in the paper, nice straight edges, smooth. If you have wiggly, rough edges, torn spots, it can tell you what part of your cut is not correct at the time. Something to work on. The fruit, we tend to do that by actually fun stuff. We go out and check afterward. 2012 World Championships, blindfolded, an apple sitting on top of his foot, two in his hand, sword here. He throws the apples up, cut, sets, flips apple off his foot, cuts it. Blindfolded. I'm not anywhere near that good yet. But he's one of our main Korean masters, and he probably spends 8 hours a day training. So yeah, but it's all kinds of cool stuff. Now, other than the one guy who shot the airsoft pellet, the Japanese guy from that, you probably don't see many Japanese swordsmen doing that kind of stuff. Okay. For colored belt testing, one of the tests is wooden sword in your belt, which we usually don't do, but it makes it draw like it's in a scabbard. Throw a tennis ball up, draw and hit the tennis ball. Colored belts have to do that. So we have all kinds of challenges. Okay. So Lexi's holding her mat, so Zach can go first. Now, let's see how well Zach does with her. Cutting is not as easy as it looks. Thinking too hard. Just cut.
I will get better at this someday.
One last try. Down cut. Right cut.
Right cut?
Right cut.
Right cut's go to the left, right?
Correct. That's the left cut. She's breathing and thinking and resetting herself so she can try well. One last try. Dang it. So, do it now. Mel?
Yep.
Okay. Now, we don't do a lot of cutting because mats are expensive. We do paper kind of more often, and we actually put candles out too to cut. Stop this far away from the candle and have it go out. There's one of those on the 2012 World Championships. Guy's a bundle of 50 candles, puts them all out with a punch. He's this far away from the candles when he finishes his punch. Now you see it's a big puff of smoke. You know there's a lot of candles when he lights one and has to keep rolling them until they're all lit before he puts it down to do it. Yep. After you're done cutting, you have some nice window treatments. There you go.
There's a good one though.
Don't want to go another lower. Need more students. Actually, Master Lewis needs more students so he can afford more masks for you to cut.
Nice.
Cool. All depends on if they choose to balance or not.
Zach is going to volunteer to hold it.
Yep, he usually does. Now, I've done this one once, and I keep trying it at all the cons until I can get it again on camera. Cut it here, drags it over, and then cut it in half on the way up. So, maybe because this is the first congregation, it can be a first.
There's enough on there to try again.
testing, or not our testing, our tournaments, which we don't do much of because we just stay within our federation, and our tournaments are really a big excuse to get together in Korea for a week and have fun together. We don't really care who has the medals. In fact, the awards when they're handed out aren't even done on the floor. You go do your division, find out what you place, go off to a whole other room, get on the little podiums, get your stuff handed to you, put them away, come back and do the next division. Because nobody really cares in our stuff who won a trophy. We're there for the work, the training, the development, and that kind of thing. So there's two kinds of cutting that happen in the Black Belt Master Division. First one is speed cutting. You have 2 sticks of bamboo. You have to do 5 cuts. Down, down, up, down, up. And from the time you draw your sword and get you ready, and the referee goes start and starts a stopwatch, until the time you finish on this side and stop at ready, they run the clock. So now, you have to be the fastest. You also have to have all 5 cuts done. If you only get 4 cuts, you just ding your sword off something, you're already done. So first you have to have all 5 cuts first. Then, whoever's fastest doing all the 5 cuts is the one who wins. The second version on it is creative. And it involves a little more spinning, twirling, all kinds of fun. So the one that I've worked on that I like, and I need to develop another one because people are getting tired of seeing it usually, comes here, goes down, down, and then up. So let's see if I can get this one to work. Wait. Photographers don't come. Took a nice chunk out of it. Okay. So. Just in time or flash forward. That's the end of our stuff. Questions?
Okay, so why go one-handed sometimes and stay two-handed sometimes? Because the kendo is all two-handed. So why deviate?
Yeah, you're getting dug in. Stand right there.
The sharp one.
Yes, it is. You can't reach him. Plus, then you get cool stuff like you saw in Mel's. Thank you. Now, one of the other parts of Hollywood is we don't bang blades together. You saw it with the sparring swords because that looks cool, right? Whack, whack, and yeah. No, every time it goes whack, there's a little ding, little nick. And after a while, it won't cut. And after a while, that nick becomes really big, and then the blade breaks. And now I have to find a new blade. And they're not cheap. So, I'm not going to go block. I'm going to go hide. Let it miss completely. If I have to, take the flat of the blade so it doesn't hurt my edge. So we have some of the fun stuff that way. One of the others, you saw it, Mel's. How about stabbing in the chest? Yep. Can't do that two-handed. This one maybe. So you have all kinds of combat tactical stuff, which are different from the Japanese because of the formal, not religious, that was bad. I didn't say that word. Formal, ritualistic version of their training.
I was going to say, you can't sweep with 2 hands.
No, you can't do a big sweeping move. The other side of it is, this is a tool to use. It does not have my soul in it. It does not have anything more. If it breaks, I get a new one. It just sucks because it costs money. Yes. I have nothing but strange students.
So what you're saying, she just strangers to them all?
The worst part on that, they say teachers a track similar. So, yeah.
So what's that say about you then?
Yeah, exactly. I don't think I want to know, and I don't want them to know.
Tell it to the camera.
No. Any other questions?
Do you by chance also train with people who are physically crippled?
Yes. We adapt everything. In fact, we had what didn't come in. I saw him out in the hall. The guy with the free hug sign. He's got his right hand is messed up a bit from him.
His name's Josh.
Josh, thank you. I have a student, Alex, back in Minneapolis. The same thing.
Oh, wait a minute.
So we turned him into a one-handed swordsman.
And he was cutting paper.
And he was cutting paper. Yep. So it isn't about what it needs to look like. It's about what you can do and make it yours. The cut line is the same, one-handed or two-handed. You understand what you're doing, so it looks right to me. So you can develop it and work on it like that, which becomes one of those pieces that is greatly, greatly overlooked in the sport world of our martial arts stuff. No, my taekwondo kicks cannot go this high. I've had both hips replaced. They're here. But I'll keep up with Zach.
It's true. I don't know how he does it.
Age and wisdom beats youth and vigor.
Stubborn.
Stubborn helps, yeah. But as I've been doing this 35 years, he's been doing this 10, the taekwondo side that is. I know a few more tricks than him. I don't have to be able to keep up with him physically and technique. That goes with everything we do. Work smarter, not harder. Work economically, efficiency of motion, proper use of energy, all that kind of thing. We got Mel convinced in it. Mel's a PhD candidate in physics. So she's going to come up with all of the calculations and formulas on why cutting works well and how to make cutting work well. So it's about what you know and how you apply it, not how young you are, fast you are, strong you are, any of that. So don't stop learning. Even if you're done with college, any of that stuff, don't stop learning. Find stuff that's interesting and keep going.
So does that mean you teach things that are not related to the blade, like how to achieve weapons?
That is not in our official testing curriculums, but yes, I teach sword takeaways. So when they come at me with the sword, I can take it away and use it on them. How to do it, use it as a scabbarded tool, things in that manner. I have 35 years of taekwondo, 25 years of aikido, 10 years of sword work. That's my background. So I've been doing this for a while and haven't fun yet with it. And every time something changes, you figure out how to work it better and develop it and continue on. So yeah, we have all kinds of little things. The key of that is you may not test on it, so you may not do it a lot, but it will help and work, develop other parts.
What kinds of fruit do you cut?
What kinds of fruit do we cut? Most commonly, apples. We have done potatoes because you can throw them up in the air too. They're rather small.
Pumpkins count vegetables.
Watermelon.
Pumpkins, watermelons. We put them on a stand and do cross cuts. No. We had one guy in our Duluth class who thought that would be really cool, and he's there holding the sword like you are, and the guy tossed the watermelon at him. He cut it, but it still hit him. So, that was the end of that. And, you know, when you're 17, you think you have it all figured out. And no, it was not Zach. No, but we have we take a sawhorse and just balance it on the edge of the sawhorse, cut it up, milk jugs. Now, if I can find sugar-free Jell-O. Ha! I got it. She wouldn't let me put Jell-O in water jugs and cut the water jugs and have blood splurting all over. Because she said, we got ants. But if you use sugar-free, yeah. So what milk jugs work well, the part there is plastic will embed itself in the metal. So we don't use our good swords for that. We buy a $60 sharpened sword, cheapy, and we cut plastic with that, and that's all that we ever use it for.
Or machetes.
She comes to a sword seminar with the machete. So
you mentioned armor, so this obviously wouldn't be armor, but what would it look like?
depends on the period of their battles, their stuff. Like the Japanese armor changed, European armor changed through the ages and that kind of thing. But basically, you have the leg, the body parts, you know. Not much that I've seen. But then again, I'm not going to get to walk around in armor to protect myself on the street, so I haven't focused on it. Now, Master Lewis has a master's degree in museum research. He's the one to ask that question to. And then when you do, pardon?
Depends on if you're mounted or not. If you're mounted, your legs were covered.
So
The
now,
arms are still uncovered?
Say again?
Your arms are still uncovered.
No, your arms have greaves, holders.
so when you take that to him later in class and ask him, remind him to send me the answers. So I can research it and study it and learn it and understand it better too.
Wikipedia.
Pardon?
Wikipedia.
That's always correct.
Take it with a grain of
It's not
salt.
always correct, but you can look up a lot of things.
You get caught before you get your sword out? If I don't wear if I'm not wearing it,
So it's not like full on time because it's blind.
right. Counterfight, it turns into a staff kind of thing. You know, in one of our second dan forms, you have a block, pull it out of your sword, block with the blade. Now you have different
Master
movement.
Lewis has good answer for that.
One of the primary reasons for Japanese jiu-jitsu, not BJJ, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, was that if they, because one of the techniques might be effective, I might disarm Master Frankovich. So jiu-jitsu steps in and Aikido steps in for me to blend into his energy, flip him around while I'm in armor, because you can't kick while you're in armor. It's not going to happen. You might be able to be a knee biter or something, but you're not going to generate a whole lot of force. You're not going to do a lot of knee lifts because you've got plates and groin protection and lower back protection. So jiu-jitsu comes in because your hands are all right here and it doesn't require a lot of this while you're wearing armor.
And as I have armor on, I don't necessarily have all kinds of freedom. So if this is out, pummel you with it and be done. So he has just joined our federation, U.S. Association. So all you guys asking questions, him chiming in, he's giving me all kinds of questions to ask him. Yeah. There was another one. I know you're gonna have a time. You are just like Zach. Anyone else quick first before we let him go once more? Go ahead.
Alright, unsheathing, how would that work? Because this thing is swirling around a lot. So if you're unsheathing, you're trying to match along with it. So couldn't we counter that by not swirling around as much?
All depends on your personality. Yeah. I like small little moves because I'm not as strong. Zach can bench press more than I can. So I'm not going to use big power moves. I'm going to use sneaky, subtle, little spinny, twirly hide. You think I'm here? No, I'm over here. Too bad. That kind of thing. But that's my personality too. Taekwondo side, when I spar, I'm a counter fighter. I let you start your technique, then I hit you in the middle.
Master has some airbenders, Zach's an earthbender.
Wow.
So,
3-pointer.
Master Lewis, what time is it?
10 till.
10 till, okay. So, really quick then here on it. This one is not the sharp sword, but this would be a yuk yakdo, a six-angle sword. What that means is there's a ridge down the middle of the back, so that's the first angle. Angle 2, angle 3, and if you look here, you can't see it very well this way, but you can see that it's flat before it angles to the edge of the blade. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the edge angle is 6. So it's a 6-angle sword. The geometry for that is intended then to cut bamboo, heavier targets. This weighs about 2 pounds, 6 ounces, 2 pounds, 8 ounces. Hold this, please. This one is a samgakdo, a 3-angle sword. It's flat across the top, has 1 angle, 2 angle, and then the edge is the 3rd angle. It's lighter, quicker, sharper, not sharper, faster, and it's intended to cut lighter targets like the mats. But because it's lighter, it needs to be moved quicker. So these guys, as they were getting stuck, they were trying to hit the mats hard because the sword is so light. That's what happened with my spinning cut. I tried to hit it hard to make up the twirl to make up the energy on it. If I'd used the 6-angle sword, it would be heavier. It would have automatically gone through it. So which sword you use, the geometry. There's a whole other field of martial arts training that gets into that. And all of the Japanese sword makers are most documented about it. They all had their reasons for why their blades were curved as much as they were, angled what they were, and it's all in geometry of what they were trying to accomplish with the blade when it cut. Thank you. So, the Korean blade is a little simpler, a little basic, more basic. Typically does not have a blood groove, as I mentioned before, and it's a big, cool tool to use.
One's with the inner sheet in it, and is there some moves? Is that just formal, or is that
Fun. So you saw the different little flippy ones as we did, and that's where we actually get to play and have some fun and show the personality kind of thing. Otherwise, you saw at the beginning when we did basic cuts, finished, put it in, done, because that's the important part. Manage your sword properly. It would not be cool to do something fancy, drop your sword, and the bad guy comes running up and kills you. You know, if you're gonna put your sword away, just put your sword away. You know, nobody cares on the battlefield how cool you look or how fancy you look when you do it. No, and that you guys get kind of giggle and think, yeah, it's like, no kidding. But how much of your world, in your world, do you see sport stuff that's dance and flash and show off? That's unnecessary. Now, I like watching sports. I like watching good games. Baseball is probably the most humble of athletes. They hit that grand slam home run. They go run around. Team meets them at the plate. They high-five each other, pat each other in the back, go back to the dugout, keep playing. Basketball is about the same. I just don't care for a sport that you have to expect to get scored on. If you can't shut them out, it's not a real game. Basketball tends to have that too, because they score their point, but they can't celebrate it. They got to go back and defend now. Okay. Hockey has minimal celebration, right? You see a score, you get the little fist pump, those pat each other back, go down the line, high-five all your teammates. Football, on the other hand, they practice their touchdown celebrations. They spend time during their practices to figure out what kind of little dance and display they're going to do. Yeah, that's just sad. And when you think about the really, really good athletes that played, you guys remember Emmitt Smith, Walter Payton, football side, he scored the touchdown, he'd walk over to the ref, hand the ball off, and go back to done. No dance around, no spiking the ball, nothing even. You know, hockey, you get Wayne Gretzky, several of those guys, score the goal, go back, pat each other in back, good job, and done. No celebration, because that's your job. Why should you be celebrating that you did your job well? Can you do it better next time? Thank you. Okay. Last call, questions other than you.
Talk to us after.
Yes, we will hang around and talk otherwise too. So if you have questions.
Is anything that you've learned through this able to be transferred over to a more Western blade? Or, I'm sorry.
To a European blade, that kind of thing? I will qualify that as no, only for the fact that I'm not interested in the European blade. It's my personality. Past life, I was probably an Asian warrior of some kind. The European blades don't interest me at all. And that's just being honest. So with that, our museum researcher can probably give you ideas on that. We have talked to several people that have done fencing in the meanwhile too. Yeah. So that might carry over too. And there's the armor I want. Now, how cool would it be to come out and do this panel with that armor on?